Hello there, a jolly good day to you. Thank you plenty for joining us on Unfiltered, a podcast that brings you discussions and conversations that matter. Conversation with people who matter. Unfiltered is no matter whose ox is God.
Yeah,
My name is Henry.
no matter whose ox is God.
All right.
Israel is my name.
So today we'll be having this conversation, a conversation that I like to think is at the heart of many Ijaws. The talk around core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw. I've got those who are considered to be originally Ijaws and those that are considered not to be originally Ijaws, but have been conscripted, a word to use, or incorporated into the Ijaw ethnic group. I don't know exactly how this word emanated, but there are many persons who would say that a particular former governor started using it first, or maybe he too he got it from some other place. But
The idea of Koijo and non-Koijo is a concept of the Fourth Republic.
Okay.
Yes,
Dates back, you could think Fourth Republic.
The Fourth Republic, that's
Yeah, just
1999.
yeah, exactly.
So it's a weaponized concept. It's not a concept it's not a concept that had good intentions in mind. It was not born out out of good intentions. It was a weaponized concept for political, social, demographic oppression and control. So before the Fourth Republic, we all identified ourselves as Ijaw people. As a matter of fact, when you go online and Google it, they give you sources and references from all these media boys. They don't give you concrete source like this source came from somebody that's even knowledgeable, very knowledgeable. Not to say that those boys are not but the source is from just recently. So it tells you a lot about the fact that the concept of Koijo and non-Koijo.
But you also could speak to the fact that maybe for reals that there are those who are actually core Ijaw and those who are actually not exactly Ijaws. We could start tracing, from their ethnic backgrounds and all of those. The people, the Obia people, many would call them not to be core Ijaw. Those who are also a Piatisa, some would call them not to be core Ijaw. Those who are from Zarama, who are related to those of the Ngene people.
Okay.
Those would also call them not to be core Ijaw. And a number of them also, the Nembe is also may want to, the Nembe and Brass, they speak Nembe, and Nembe is kind of close to Ijaw.
What makes the Ijaw core? And what makes the Ijaw non-core?
Many would say it's the fact that, these guys, the core Ijaws speak a language that is pretty much distinct from these others that I mentioned, the Ogbia, the Ngene. They do not exactly speak a language that is related to what those from Southern Ijaw, from Keremo, from Sabgama, from Kulukumo, Pukuma, they speak.
Okay, so let us talk about let's talk about the idea of what ethnicity or what ethnicity is. Ethnicity or ethnic group is not a fixed ancient concept. When somebody says, I'm of this ethnic group, it's not a fixed ancient concept. It's a socio-demographic concept that can be influenced by travel, by conflict, by competition, by trade.
I run to America, and the next thing I'm claiming one ethnic group there as mine.
The people you call English people, they have not Nordic ancestry. They have French ancestry. Their conquest and the whole migration and intermingling made the man that is an Englishman an Englishman.
In the United Kingdom, would also be having this argument of people who amongst them would claim that you're not Anglo, or you're not this, you're not that. That segregation would also be there. I am from here. You probably have bought property there that belongs to you, but there will still also be that segregation. Those who are red, those who are Indies, probably maybe in the Americas.
No,
yeah?
I beg to differ. They would rather say their uniqueness in maybe dialects and certain core specific traditions there doesn't mean that we are different people.
Now, okay.
We are a subset of a greater number.
Even if we agree that in time you now become a part of an ethnic group that you were not a part of originally, you have somewhere
by saying you are not a part of originally.
You were not a part of this ethnic group, but you went there and you naturalized there, and then that became part of you. That's the point you're making, right?
Yes, that became the ethnic group.
That became your ethnic group.
Yes,
originally,
the idea of ethnic group is not a fixed thing.
I agree
It's
with
a
you on that. Now,
socio-demographic
let's say,
thing.
okay, agreeing to disagree on that, or what's the better term to use now? Howbeit, the point is this: you moved. You were not originally from there.
Okay.
It's like you not being originally from China. You're originally from Nigeria, but you moved to China, and somehow you are given the citizenship in China, and you become a Chinese citizen.
And that is
Originally, you are not from that.
that's
place.
not actually that's not actually how the concept of
You think the
ethnic group
analogy
is.
cannot work for
Yes,
for
that analogy cannot work.
Why
It
is
cannot
that?
work here because let me give you an example. The Ijaw man, if they trace the ancestry of the Ijaw man, and maybe he comes from the Nile region, right? And they trace the ancestry of the Ogbea person, and he comes from Cameroon, and somehow they come and they settle here, and they live together, and they trade together, and they trade, and they become a people united by causes and intermingling, and become a people that are one now. They can now become
an
an
ethnic
ethnic
group.
group. A lot of ethnic groups, just like the Baggy people. The
Would-
Baggy people are a subgroup of the Hausa people. They cannot say they are not Hausa.
Now, I
They are
don't
unique.
think a
They are
proper, I don't
yeah.
think a proper Baggy man would agree with that. The Baggy people in Abuja, right, in the FCT, I don't think they would agree with that. Many of them will call themselves a distinct ethnic group. They will tell you they are not Hausa. And also,
They are
there are
a
many.
subgroup of
Do
the
you agree
larger.
with me that there are many Obia persons who will tell you that I am of the Obia ethnicity? What does that mean?
When he says I'm of the Obia ethnicity, he's saying I am of the Obia subgroup.
No, he did not. He's not saying I am of the Obia subgroup. He's saying I'm of the Obia ethnicity.
What he
Let's look at
says
it.
and what is are two different things.
No.
So-
This is someone who is from Obia. Do you want to tell someone who's from Obia where exactly he's from?
So what if you are from Obia and they trace your ancestry to Egypt? Will you say an
Those from
an
Obia, their
Egyptian?
ancestry are traced to Cameroon.
So you say I'm a
They
Cameroonian.
migrated from Cameroon to Edo and then subsequently.
So
they
will
got
you
this way.
say that because my ancestry
Those from
the
those from
Ijaw man will
Ijaw,
say,
their ancestry reportedly is traced to Sudan,
okay.
Sudan.
I'm asking now, if you say that,
North Africa,
if you say
and West Africa.
wonderful, if you say that the Obia man, since he's from Cameroon by ancestry, and the Ijaw man,
Reportedly, let's add that.
reportedly yes, and the so claimed Ijaw man is from Sudan. So when you ask the Ijaw man, where are you from? He will say, I'm from Sudan. Will you say you're from Sudan?
He tells you he's from Obia. He tells you he's from Obia. He's an Obia person. Where is Obia located? You know where it's located, right? You know the communities that border Obia.
Wonderful.
That's what they tell you. That's where they are from. What's my ethnicity? I tell you I'm Obia, but I don't tell you that I am Ijaw if my ethnicity is Obia. I don't tell you that I am Ijaw by ethnicity, but my sub-ethnic group is Obia. I have not had any Obia man say that.
He will say, I'm an
I've not had any PA man say my sub-ethnic group
Okay,
is.
now let's trace back. There's the Melfodokilo. Melfodokilo is an Obea man by ethnic group. As at the time he was the civilian governor of Rivers State, there was nothing like Obea local government. So there were just 3 local governments. So he went to become the governor of the old Rivers State as a civilian governor as a man from Brass local government. That is an Ijaw ethnic group. And he went there as an
Then comprised several Ijaw communities.
several sub-communities and sub-ethnic groups.
Several Ijaw communities.
Yes.
However, there were also Obia communities, Obia speaking communities. If you don't want to be using ethnic group, Obia speaking communities.
Wonderful.
Ijaw
Now you have defined it. The Obia speaking communities of the Ijaw ethnic.
I did not say that. I did not quite say that. I did not say the Ijaw speaking or the Obia speaking of. No, we did not say that.
So
because I like to think that there are many Obias, and I also think that there are Ijaws who do not think that. That's why this concept has emanated. There are Ijaws who do not think that Obias are actually Ijaws. If we say now that in recent times they are incorporating them either for political or for inclusive purposes, they are incorporating them into this broader the Ijaw term.
So when Melfodokilo
Now one cannot even say for certain if it is the Obias that are pushing themselves into the Ijaw ethnic group, or it is the Ijaws that are kind of incorporating them or conscripting them into the ethnicity?
Okay. First, I will address what you just said now, but let's talk about the term core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw. It was not a thing. So before you talk about before 1999, there's no topic like core Ijaw before 1999. So it's not even right to talk about a concept of core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw before 1999. Why was it? Because it never existed.
Was there a discourse that saw those who were from Ngene, those who were from Abua, those who were from Ogbea? Was there a discourse that concluded them to be from Ijaw?
When before you say was there a discourse to conclude them? Then there is a them and us. There is no and us. The first mistake you even the first mistake you're even making is to say that them and there's an us.
Let's scratch
the fact that Abu Engeneo and all those are all Ijaws. Male for the kilo as a simple example. The concept of core Ijaw.
Let's have the discourse proper now. What makes you see this? What makes you think Abua, Odwal, Engene, Ogbea, Epia, Tisa? What makes you say they are Ijaws? I had pointed out earlier that, Cameroonians, the Ogbea people, they migrated from the Cameroonians, reportedly. As per stories I saw, they migrated from Cameroon. The Ijaws migrated, reportedly, from Sudan. That's far North Africa. What makes you think that this Ijaws, Epias, Ogbas, Ogbea, and all of them, they're all Ijaws? What makes you say that? Other than that, you stay somewhere for a very long time and you become part of the ethnicity, because I think you had given that argument earlier. Okay. So other than the argument, except you want to go back to the argument.
Okay. So if your question is, why say these people are the people that they are? Because you want to believe that they are not, right?
Yeah. I'm saying this because certain opinions out there. If we bring 10 Ogbea people, you'll be shocked to find out. You may not be shocked even if you know that, but I will not be shocked. You may be shocked to find out that 4, 5, 6 amongst them will tell you, I am not Ijaw, I'm Ogbea.
Look at the demography of those people that are Ogbea people that will say they are not Ijaws. If you look at the age demography, you find out that they are young people.
And when I talked about this survey, now I did not talk about demography. I did not. I could spread this across. It's a proper survey. Spread this across democracy. Have 2 elderly men, 2 elderly women, 2 young guys, 2 young girls, like that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying what I'm saying because if you ask a man of 60 years what core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw,
you won't ask him that. You ask him what his ethnicity is.
His ethnicity is Ogbea of the Ijaw ethnic group. I'm saying what I'm saying because I want to repeat what you said. There is no term.
Should I repeat what you said?
As core Ijaw, non-core Ijaw.
Should I repeat
I'm
what you
saying
said?
it in black and white. There is no term like core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw. The whole idea of non-core Ijaw and core Ijaw, in fact, gained popularity and even emanated when there was a certain Ijaw man that was a governor, and there was another Ijaw man that was a president, and they had a rift. The only political weapon against themselves was the use and the origin of that word core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw. That's why when you search that word online, you will not see any source that predates 1999. In fact, that predates the 2000s. So it means that before that time, nobody had the idea, thought themselves as no people. By people now, no region, no subgroup thought themselves as non-core Ijaw.
Where do you think
that time
Dixon picked this thing up from? If it had not been in the subconscious, let's not even say subconscious, if it had not been in the thinking of many persons who are Ijaws and Ogbea and AP and all of those today, where did Dixon pick it from? How does he use something of that nature as a political instrument if it were not exactly a thing, even if it were not exactly spoken of? It was not really spoken of, that much. But where did he pick it from? How could he use it as a weapon and then it works? If you go to the Igbos and then you start saying, maybe you go to Imo State and say Igbo, you speak one kind of Igbo, and you guys are not core Igbo, or you look
they see the Abakaliki man as less. The average Igbo man from other parts of the Igbo land that is not Abakaliki sees the Abakaliki man like he's less Igbo than them. Even if he's Igbo. Because when a people are united, it is just sociology. It is just sociology.
Would you want to? Would you also want to say that's a political thing? Do you want to say that particular notion where the Igbos are seeing certain Igbos see the Abakaliki as not exactly, proper Igbo? If you want to trace the origin of that, would you want to say that's also a political thing?
It's not a political thing. Now, in the Ijaw aspect of this whole Ko-Ijaw and non-Ko-Ijaw, when it is just it's just sociology.
I like to think that this is, even if you call it a political thing that's emanated from the 1990s or early 2000s.
From the Fourth Republic.
2000s, yeah,
2000s.
Fourth Republic. If you want to call it that, then it was somewhere in the subconscious of Ijaws, APAs, and Ogbeas. It existed somehow.
From a man, not from a people. A man spread an ideology, or certain men spread an ideology to a people.
Attribute all of this campaign. You want to attribute all of this campaign to one man, former governor of Bayelsa State.
I'm not attributing
You're
to one
saying
man.
that he did not. I mean, there is nowhere it existed. Not on the minds of anybody.
As a matter of fact, I didn't even call a man's name.
You said a former governor.
A former governor, yes.
Yeah. And when we say former governor, we are very certain we know who we're talking about. Former governor who was a governor while Goodluck Billy Jonathan was president.
Okay.
We all know, we're saying this is supposed to be unfiltered.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
It's supposed to be unfiltered.
No, what I'm saying is, when people, it is just sociology, just street demography, that when people are one and there is a rift, they start to find people that are more one, seemingly more one with them,
amongst
so that the numbers
amongst the APA people, like you say,
favor them.
Amongst the APA people, like you say, of the Ijaw ethnic group. Have you heard when an APA man or artisan man says, this one is not as APA as I am? You see how the APA man, the APA artisan ethnic group, or sub-ethnic group as you'd like to call it, APA artisan ethnic group, they know themselves. They know what they are. An artisan man does not come to tell you I'm an APA man. APA man does not come to say I'm artisan. APA does not try to give APA-ness, in quote, to an artisan man. Neither does an artisan.
You don't quite know that.
No, neither does an artisan man come out to say that I am an artisan man. Are we trying to erode what the Obia, the APA, the Ngene man stand for? What's their exact ethnicity? Where do we draw the line now? How do we say it? Someone who is from Ngene, would they be comfortable you calling their ethnicity sub-ethnic group, and then they come out publicly and say I am Ijaw, when they don't exactly speak the same language, they do not exactly share the same
language? Remembering that
let's leave the language
dialect,
now.
Dialect is not the only factor that makes an ethnic group become one ethnic group.
The ancestry is another thing. The language is there, one factor. The ancestry, they're like four, right? The ancestry is also out of it. What's the next thing? Their culture, the kind of food they eat, the kind of clothing they wear. I like to think that that's something that can be influenced only by recent past. 70 years is enough to influence choice of clothing and food.
You think so?
70 years is enough to influence choice of clothing
in 70
and
years,
food.
I would forget my...
An Igbo man wears etibo.
So in 70 years, I will forget my inherent food, my cuisines that I was born and raised with, and I will pick up your own in 70 years. You will not forget.
Years. You would also do yours.
So the thing is beyond...
If we Ngene man here, I promise you, if we bring an Ngene man here, there are certain food that are indigenous to them that the Ijaws probably do.
If you bring a man from Bomo clan, there are certain food. In fact, there are certain aspects of the language that is different from other parts of the quote unquote Ijaws. There are certain cultural festivals. We do Ikpai. Not every other place does Ikpai. So there are other cultural festivals that makes us unique. That's why there is a Bomo clan. That clan is still a sub and still sees itself as the greater Ijaw. The same thing, the same way the Obia man sees himself as part of the greater Ijaw. So the Obia man is no less Ijaw than the Southern Ijaw man. As a matter of fact, the Southern Ijaw man was Yenegwa in the 70s. So everybody in Southern Ijaw
That is
identified as Yenegua people.
That is political division. And that's for convenience in administration.
So there is a possibility that we can allow politics to so divide us that a PA man can one day
now
say.
This is not exactly politics dividing.
Let me drop. We can divide ourselves so much that a PA man can say, because we have small differences from the Atisa people, because I don't want that man or I don't like that man. We are different. We are the better APA. APA is the bigger one. APA is the greater one. And soon people begin to buy into that belief.
Do you know
and then Atisa would not see themselves as a different kind of.
Do you know there are many persons who think that? Were you asking a question there?
That is the reality of what what brought the whole core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw. That the fact that one day a man from APA can in fact say, just because of some political reason, just because of some interest, say, Atisa man, we are the better ones. We are the core. As long as this Yenegua is concerned, the PA man
get
is core.
Yenegua pass.
And soon we get Yenegua. So Yenegua came to join us.
Isn't that a different conversation?
Isn't
that a different conversation?
That is the idea behind the core Ijaw and the non-core Ijaw.
I like to think that's
the only idea.
How
the
is
only
that?
idea that houses I am more Ijaw than you. Nobody is
I am more Ijaw does not mean that I own Yenegua.
Nobody is core.
No, if you say that's the idea, I am more Ijaw. They are never telling you that they own Yenegua. For instance, Yenegua is that of the PRTs and the those from Zarama, right? And Ikpetiama, right?
But the fact that there's an APA and there's an Atisa people and there's an APA people, it is very possible that for some kind of interest, one person can see himself as more. And people buy into it, depending on how strong the person's influence is.
I'm not an APA man. I'm not an APA man, but I'd like to try and see things from the lens of an APA and Atisa and Obia man, who you are from Southern Ijaw, Karemo, you're from Kulukumo, Pukuma, you're from all of these areas that are Ijaw dialect speaking, right?
Not.
I said Ijaw dialect speaking.
Not even in the Ijaw dialect, there are a lot of differences.
Okay.
A lot of differences.
A lot of differences, but I like to think that someone from Kulukuma would understand what an Ekremama would say.
Understand, yes.
Yeah, so, but someone from Kulukuma would very likely, except you learned, would likely not understand what an Obeman would say.
No, an APA artisan.
No, an APA artisan man.
Wonderful, yes.
Now, to see this from the eyes of an APA and artisan man to land, right? It is like you came to Yenegua, right? You are from Southern Ijaw, you are from Kulukuma, you are from Ekremo, you are from Saboma, you came to Yenegua. And then you're saying that the Yenegua man is an Ijaw man. This is an attempt to take over Yenegua and claim Yenegua is Ijaw and claim Yenegua is owned by Ijaws. You are eroding APA Atisa from history.
For saying that you are an Ijaw man and you came to Yenegua means that you've already in the first place created a them versus us that did not exist before 1999. You will not get it. If for me to say that the Ogbaya man, we came to join us, the idea of them and us has killed the concept of Ijaw.
Well,
there was no Ijaw.
You all did not migrate at the same time. How about after the 800 BC? You all did not migrate at the same time.
I just explained to you. I just explained to you that the idea of
at the end of the day, there would always be them and they.
The idea of ethnic group is not a fixed and how would I put it? It's not a fixed identity.
Would an Ijaw man tomorrow claim they are Igbos? Now imagine what's happening. This is what happened way before maybe even the Civil War, right? Way before the Civil War and a little after the Civil War, right? The Igbos were dominant in the southeast. Okay. That was the region then. It's like what was like states, right? Okay. That would often talk to the federal government then, not exactly federal, right? But we had the states, we had the regions there. The southeast, the eastern region, the then eastern region dominated. There are many Ijaws who answer Igbo names. There are many Ijaws, Obias, who also are...
That's just normal influence,
domination. They dominated. Okay. And so they influenced. Even certain words also are picked from there because of this domination. Many would say anyways, are picked from there because of this domination, because of this dominance. Could the Igbo man, I mean, at some point, the Igbo man would have claimed that all of the southeast, all of the south, then eastern region are Igbos. A core northerner will tell you also, viewing from their own lens, they will tell you that the South is South are occupied by the Nyamiri. Have you heard that tribalistic term? The Nyamiris, the Igbos. That's what a northerner will tell you. That seems like the same dominance that's playing out here.
Okay,
the Igbos had then thought that
if we go into that
even
history,
when they talk about their Biafra thing, they would also tell you that Biafra,
that's what I
is part of Biafra.
Don't even go into that history. Don't even go, because there
I'm
was
only
a
just
country
citing an
before
instance, right?
that Biafra.
I'm only citing an instance, right?
So that
an instance of
that a people
domination.
dominates, that a people dominates doesn't mean a people are together and they are one with ethnicity. They cannot be one ethnicity because I dominate you. It's preposterous. It's a travesty to think.
I like to think it's because the Ijaw stood their ground. I mean, they did not allow for this to happen.
For you to say because the Ijaw stood their ground means that you're already calling one side the Ijaw, and that is your way. The argument.
At this point, I only said the Ijaws now.
When you say,
I only said the Ijaws. You can interpret it to mean the core Ijaw and non-core Ijaw or not.
When we're all part of the Eastern Zone, and a people, because of maybe their number, maybe because of influence, they naturally dominate, or maybe forcefully dominate. It has no business to do with shared interest, decision for unity, and all those things.
What are the shared interests, and at what point did they decide to be united? Yeah, unity is paramount, is key. But at what point did they say, for unity, let all answer Ijaw? What point did they have that meeting?
That's why you missed it when I told you the core concept of what an ethnic group is. It is not a fixed ancestral identity. It's a socio-demographic concept based on migration, based on trade, based on competition, based on conflict. All those things come together and put a people together. And after a long period of time, they have shared interests. The Hausa we are talking about, not every part of the Hausa came from the same place.
If that's the case, we can now say this.
Let me drop. Okay, not every Hausa came from the same place. The Englishman that I use as an example, the Englishman's DNA does not have English DNA, or there's a 12%, 13% Nordic influence. So that influence, in the process of time, became what the Englishman is. The same thing. That's how the Ijaw man is. These influences came together. There was no people to say, these people, are they part of us? Let them be part of us and let it be Ijaw. No. We grew together, and the concept of Ijaw being all of us. So when somebody now come and say there is a more supreme Ijaw, so that I will choose whether you will be a part of this supreme Ijaw, then the concept of what Ijaw is even lost in the first place. And that concept was born in this very 10, 20 years ago. 20 years ago, if you ask Melford Okilo, what is called Ijaw? He said, who is that? In fact, people that are not Ijaws, that were in the old rivers, they saw us as the riverine people. More of the riverine people than even Ijaw. They described us as the riverine people. So it housed Kalabari, Okrika, all these sides that we now segregate ourselves and say this one. So if as a southern Ijaw man, I am no more Ijaw than the Ogbeya man. Because there was no time I saw myself as the main Ijaw until the 2002, 2003, 2004, and down till when there was no time the average Ijaw man saw himself. So King Joshua Ibuburu was chairman council of traditional rulers in Rivers State as a riverine man, representing every other side in this region, not representing just a small sect. So when a man speaks as an Ijaw man, he's not speaking as a particular region of the Ijaw. Because when you say that he's speaking at that region, then there is another region. And that is the concept that was brought in. And when that concept, the thing about that concept is when you begin to raise that concept of Ijaw and non-core Ijaw, the people that see themselves as non-core Ijaw, they begin to find smaller groups that they will huddle together.
Okay, well,
that's how the whole Obeya Brotherhood came.
You defined ethnicity as a concept that changes with people's decision to live together and be known as an ethnic
impress group upon themselves over time. Yes.
Could we now at this juncture establish that today I am an Ijaw man, but before now I used to be an Obia man?
It's flawed. It's dead on arrival.
How is that flawed? Did I from time
Today,
immemorial be was I from time immemorial be an Ijaw man rather?
Today, I'm an Ijaw man. Yesterday, I was from Sudan because I migrated here. That's for the Ijaw man. Yesterday, I was from Cameroon, right? If sources say
today I'm an Ijaw man. Yesterday, I was from Cameroon, right?
Do you understand? Yes. So
from
if
Sudan,
the source,
rather.
the ancestry
And
says
also, and another man says today I'm from Ijaw. I'm not Obia. Yesterday, I was from. Why are we losing Obia? Why are we losing Obia?
Obia did not die for
So
Ijaw.
we could say we are just speaking Ijaw people, and Obia people speaking Ijaw.
We are Obia people
Speaking Ijaw,
of the Ijaw ethnic group.
Yeah, exactly. Obia people of the Ijaw ethnic group.
That's how the Bomo clan is of the Bomo clan of the southern
So
Ijaw.
there's nothing like
of
Ijaw
the
people.
Ijaw
There's nothing like Ijaw of the Ijaw ethnic group.
Every clan, every area has certain unique identity.
I would have said we could do. I would have said we could do the Ekerema people of Ijaw ethnicity.
Ekerema people
of Ijaw
inside
ethnicity.
that Ekerema, their regions.
How be it, we're not discussing local government. We're now discussing ethnicities, and we cannot also be ethnic groups or tribes with a differential in dialects.
That's what
and
I'm saying, and that's what you should understand. When you say
I am even. I'm erring when I talk about Obias and the Ekeremapo, and then I use dialect. It's not dialect. It's language difference. They speak a different language, not different dialects.
Whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
I'm getting to understand dialect and language.
Good.
But how be it? That's still not the point. An ethnic group is beyond just language and dialect. Can we establish that? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
An ethnic group is beyond just dialect.
We should not even talk about dialect now, but language is beyond language.
It's beyond just language.
Ancestry. There are other factors at play. But we look at these particular persons I had called an ethnic group, and of course that many of them would agree that they are ethnic groups. We look at them, and then they have no common ancestry with the Ijaws that we're now incorporating them into. They have no common language with the Ijaws that we're not incorporating them into.
Okay.
Perhaps
Who's the we?
This discourse is incorporating them into.
Okay.
Perhaps they borrowed, or because of dominance, they have certain words that are similar to the Ijaws.
Example now, they borrowed Aziba.
I'm not a historian, right? I'm not a historian, right?
So where did they borrow that?
That would be likely.
Because, okay, let's say that
you are Ijaw. What's Efere? Efere.
Let us not go to language.
No, I wanted us to just go a little and find out that there are certain languages in Ijaw that are also there are certain words in Ijaw that you find in Igbo language, and I hold
Efere.
Yeah, exactly.
Akwa Ibom still says Efere. That means
I like to think that that's a function of influence. Either the Ijaw man influenced the Igbo man.
It's not just about influence.
The Igbo man influenced the Ijaw man.
Beyond that, there's just sound. There are certain words you say in Chinese language. The Igbo man will say it means something in my language.
There is no way.
No, try to understand. Please, before you respond, understand this. Please listen.
Okay.
There is a sound that the Chinese man will say, speaking his language. The Igbo man will listen well and say, that thing means something in my language. Does it mean that we share the same ancestry?
Okay, wait. If I'm to get you correctly, what does Efere mean in the Ijaw language?
Did you understand what I said?
I wanted us to get to words and the meaning, and if it's the same thing as, because Aziba, Aiba, they mean the same thing. So I was looking for such discrepancy or such similarity.
There are a lot of discrepancy if you want to look for. There are a lot of discrepancy because the dialect in itself is different from this one. But there are places they unite. There are a lot of areas that they sound alike and they unite. You will want to say because they have common boundaries and common whatever they have. But the thing is, who will the Ijaw man say he is?
Where do we go from here? Are we of course supposed to continue with the campaign and the clamor like you've been insisting that, hey, all those who are Obias identify as Ijaw, and so when they go somewhere and they ask you, where are you from? You don't say, I am an Obia man. You are Ijaw, right? That's your ethnicity. You say you are an Ijaw man. That's the first thing you bring out before you come out and say, I am from Obia, and I'm an Ijaw, but from Obia. I mean, I'm trying to get harder to give, find
When
out
an
that sounds
Igbo
like.
man is outside, he identifies as Igbo. When
Igbo
he's
straight up.
among his people, he identifies as I'm from so tribe in Ebonyi State.
No.
Hey, hello,
What tribe? There's no tribe. There's no tribe that's different from the Igbo tribe. There is no other ethnicity. There is none.
There is an
Please, what local government?
If, I hope that for the sake of the next podcast, I can debunk what you just said, and you claim to know that you don't know.
It's okay.
Are there smaller tribes that have unique, smaller languages, smaller dialects? Yes. If you think you know it, say you know it.
Now here's
if
what
you don't know it, say you don't know.
No,
it.
here's what I would say to that. I am not aware. You probably would be lecturing me on that.
No, if you want to know.
No, hold on. I am unaware of a different tribe other than the Igbo tribe in Ebonyi State. Now, I know of dialects. I know that the Ebonyi people have different dialects, not subgroups, different dialects. There is Ivo, people who speak Ivo language. Ivo.
Now pause. You just said Ivo, right?
People who speak Ivo dialect.
Do they have some cultural uniqueness?
That Ivo
yes or no?
is similar
yes
to Afibo.
No? Do they have
if you understand
uniqueness?
Let me land.
Is dialect?
Allow me land.
Some traditional ceremonies.
Allow me land. So before you now bring in your question, so we'll be able to have the conversation proper. Ivo is there. Afibo is there. What's the next one? Eda, Izi. As a matter of fact, Izi and Eza, they also have a little different dialectical differences. Now, all of these have dialectical differences. Does not mean that they cannot exactly understand what the next person, one who stays with disease, can figure. Even those who are not from Ebonyi State, if you pay keen attention, you'd also be able to figure that this is what this person is saying.
You will come where I stand.
This is what this is.
The Azar man is only Azar when he's in the Igbo land because of his uniqueness. When he goes out,
no, he doesn't tell you that
Igbo.
he's no. He doesn't. When he goes out, amongst his brothers, he's also Igbo. How be it? You're trying to find out exactly where he hails from.
The Jonathan call himself an Ijaw man or an Ogbaya man out of Bayelsa State.
I am not aware, but I like to think he called himself an Ijaw man.
Okay, you like to think. Okay, he called himself an Ijaw man. So he's wrong.
No, I would not say he's wrong.
Okay, there's a people bigger than him that just wants to add his tribe.
Jonathan, the fact that he's a former president of Nigeria does not mean that he holds the entire opinion. The entire opinion
of the Obaya is an Obaya person.
Neither does Nafodokilo hold that as well.
So what we are
Jonathan has his opinion. He's not a historian. He's a zoologist. The last time I read.
Yes, he's a zoologist.
Yeah. Melfodokilo. Neither is he a historian.
Okay.
Now there are historians, right, that will tell you that
only said
Obias
that only trace history.
They trace history as a function of research,
not culture.
When your language is distinct, language is part of culture.
They traced history. Now let me explain to you, please. Open up. When they trace history, it means that they can trace our history to that point, right? But they
Doesn't
cannot
mean that
trace
we're exactly from there, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. They helped you tell you where your beginning was from. They don't tell you what the process is from. And the process is that we are now Ijaw people. The history is that we were once from different places. The process made us Ijaw. That's why ethnicity is not a concept of a static historical identity. Do you get this point at all? Ethnicity, I'll say it in black and white, is not a product or a concept of static historical identity. I can be from Jerusalem, but in the process, so AD, I settled here. I settled with the people.
I am now Ijaw.
And in the process of time, we now become Ijaw. So because of that,
then we should not have
we should not be having a debate. I
think we've come to a point. I think we've come to a point where we are agreeing now, because if you're saying this, I used to be from Jerusalem. I started from Jerusalem.
But that is how I started
Today, no, I'm coming.
conversation.
I used to be from Jerusalem. I started from Jerusalem. Today, I am Ijaw. I used to be from Obia. Today, I am Ijaw. Should we be saying this? Should the Obias, should the APA should be saying this?
Oh,
I used to be from APA.
Then you are not even getting the
I
concept.
used to be from.
I used to be from South Sudan. That
South
is
Sudan
history. Now I am. Are you?
Hold on.
Do you get it?
I used to be from
History
South
said.
Sudan. Now I am, or Sudan. Now I am Ijaw. I used to be from Cameroon. Now I am Obia.
I am Ijaw. You are just changing it yourself.
Why do we take off Obia? That's the point. Why do we take off Obia entirely from the
See, if
equation?
I'm going to speak in that term, that you want to force me to speak, if I want to speak in that term,
or is
I
it
will
language?
say I used to be from South Sudan, from history, from whoever that nobody has refuted.
Today I've settled.
Today, I settled in the process.
I've settled
of time.
amongst the Jaws. Is that it? No. Okay. I've settled somewhere, and we have all taken.
Did you hear yourself when you just said
No,
that?
sorry. I used to be from South Sudan, right?
I settled, and as I settled, who is the main Ijaw?
None now.
Who
There's
is
none.
the main
We all
Ijaw?
set. We've all settled. We've all
That is
settled,
it.
and we have agreed
We
to the
settled.
Jaws.
The process, the day we agreed, we don't know. That's why ethnicity is not a concept of fixed ancestry or ancestral identity.
Now, I could agree with what you're saying.
Social
However, the
demographic
fact that we have not found a place to fix the PA, the Ogbia, inside of this.
By saying that
Inside of
you have not
this
found a place
introduction,
to place those people,
inside
means
of this
there's
introduction,
a we and them. You have already lost the concept of what Ijaw is. If you place,
you
find
and
a
I
place
are having a
for
conversation
them.
on this podcast, right?
Yes.
There is a term known as a PA. You argue now that there is a Jaw. We know that there is Jaw,
There's a
and
term.
everybody.
There's a term known as the Bomo clan.
Good. There's a term known as a PA. Are you trying to liken a PA sub-ethnic group to the Bomo? Is Bomo also a sub-ethnic group?
Yes.
They're a sub-ethnic group?
Yes.
Why do we say so?
Because Bomo has certain distinct terms in their language. Bomo has certain ceremonies that are different.
In their dialect of the...
Now you want to stop at dialect now. You want to kill the whole idea of ethnic, the fact that there's sub-ethnic group, and your only focus now is that they have
group.
a dialect. So let us now...
If a Bomo man speaks, do you understand when a Bomo man speaks?
Let us stop Bomo man.
You're a Bomo man?
Yes. But
Okay.
I'm Southern Ijaw
You're
by
Southern Ijaw.
geography. I'm a Bomo man. I'm still an Ijaw man.
When a Bomo man speaks, someone from Ekemo, do they understand?
Okay.
Can they put one or two together and find
They
out
can
that this
put
is what
one
you're
or two together. So because
saying?
they
Do
can
you
put one or two.
understand when an Obia man speaks? Can you ever?
So
put
what
one
I'm
or two
saying is
together?
that you have reduced
That is a dialect.
what ethnicity
This is a language.
to dialect.
This is
language.
a dialect. No, we're not reducing it. This is just
That is
one
what
point.
you were doing.
No, we're not. This is just one point. We're not reducing it. I have not. I did not say that because of this, and so and therefore
Okay.
that's what it is. No, that's what I'm saying.
Tribe, which people, since maybe they are from somewhere.
I wanted us to agree or come to a point, a
we
meeting
cannot
point.
agree because the reason why we cannot agree is that you are still thinking of the difference. You are still separating the
there's
term.
no difference.
So
I'm
they
not
can
trying to
never be
create
the
a difference.
same
I'm
thing.
only just looking for where to place that APA concept. I'm not saying APA man now or Atisa man or Obia man. I'm only looking for where to place how to fix APA in all of this. I don't want for us. I'm thinking like an APA man. I'm thinking like an APA man.
Do you know
I
the
don't
idea
want
of
to
fixing
lose.
somebody?
I'm thinking like an APA or Obia man.
Fixing somebody means that they don't belong in the place.
I don't want us to lose the term APA or Obia. How do we bring this term in? Inside of the Ijaw.
First off, we can never bring it in with you because you don't believe in the idea of subgroups under an umbrella ethnic group. Because you don't believe in that term, they cannot work for you.
Now, it's not because I don't believe. I have yet to... Okay. Let me say I have yet to see. I have yet to see.
For you,
Here's
the whole idea of culture...
I have yet to see and someone who speaks Obia. You see how I'm careful now with my words? Because, I'm trying to use I'm trying to be politically correct here now, right? I have never seen an Obia-speaking man who claims that he is from the sub-ethnic group of Obia Even if they tell you that I'm an Ijaw man, they still would not tell you that I'm from the sub-ethnic group of Obia. We could do a survey on this.
Okay.
Call 10 Ijaw men and ask them, where are you from? They tell you they're from Obia speaking men. Where are you from? They tell you they're from Obia, they speak Obia. They still tell you that they're Ijaw. They are Ijaw, yeah. But will they agree that they are a sub-ethnic group under Ijaw ethnicity? That's
Okay.
the question.
Okay. Now, let me ask, or let me answer you. If you will take the answer, the Bomo man would not tell you he's from. In fact, you're just knowing about Bomo clan. True
No,
or
I know
correct?
Bomo clan.
Okay, you've known about
But
it.
I did not think of them as a sub. I think I knew
wonderful,
there are several clans now, and every
wonderful.
clan would definitely. Kolokuma Pokuma man does not
What
exactly
makes a
speak
clan
like
a clan?
like a Bomo man, right?
What makes a clan
Hold on now.
except certain uniqueness?
Kolokuma Pokuma man, right?
Mhm.
Are we calling clans sub-ethnic groups? Do we call clans
Do
sub-ethnic
you
groups?
believe in
here?
the idea of sub-ethnic
Can we
groups,
call?
sir?
Can we? No, now hold
Sir,
on.
sir,
Can we call clans
sir,
sub-ethnic
sir,
groups?
Sir,
Can we call
we
the
have
other
gotten to the
people a
point where I need
clan?
to ask you yes or
Wait,
no question,
wait.
sir.
The Obia man,
Do
the
you
are they a clan?
believe in
The Obia speaking people, are
sub-ethnic
they a
groups?
clan of the Ijaw? Instead of all the Ijaw clans, please,
Henry,
where does Obia fall in? Is
Henry.
Obia a clan?
Henry,
There are several clans in Obia. Are we aware?
yes.
There are several clans in
Obia
Ijaw. In all of the clans in
is a
Ijaw,
sub-ethnic group. Now, the question now is not whether
You're
it's a
calling
sub-ethnic.
Obia
God,
a
wait, can you allow me?
sub-ethnic
Can you allow me land, please?
does
If you want to talk,
an
okay,
Obia man think so?
finish with the promise that you will close your mouth and I'll talk.
go ahead.
Okay.
I don't close my mouth.
So, do you don't believe that there's anything called sub-ethnic group? So, certain tribes of the Hausa tribe, under the Hausa tribe, that want to spell out their uniqueness.
No, I don't
because-
think so. That I don't believe that
I'm
there is no
talking, sir.
sub-ethnic group.
Can I
Scratch
finish?
that.
Can I
I think I do believe that.
Can I finish?
No, go ahead.
Thank you very much. There are certain sub-tribes of the Hausa major tribes that only when you go in, you start to hear differences. The Buari people, you will hear distinct differences. They are a sub-tribe they are a sub-ethnic group under a major Hausa ethnic group.
That thing you're
Do
saying.
they have a language that even the Hausa man, please, Oga, go and find out. Their language is so distinct that it's different from the Hausa language, that the Hausa man has to strain his ear and even know before he.
That's
But
exactly
do
the
they
point.
consider themselves Hausa people?
No, they don't. No, they don't.
We'll
And
have
that's
that
capital N-O.
We'll have that. We'll
That's
have that
capital
conversation.
N-O. Do I have a baggy person who's a friend I could call now? I'm trying to.
So,
No, they don't.
so the
I've stayed amongst the baggies. They tell
Yeah,
you
you-
I am a baggy person. They don't tell you I'm Hausa.
you just told, okay, the bag is Buari, right? The Buari people. Okay, so you just quoted something else that I did not say, just because you want to tell me that there are people. I
Quoted
didn't say
what?
Baggy, I said Buari.
Okay, I thought I had
No, you
baggy.
did not thought. You just wanted to give me a point.
No, not exactly. I thought I had baggy
No,
people.
no, you
okay,
just- you just wanted to
maybe
tell
let's
me.
still let's
You
just say
wanted
baggy.
to
Baggy is
put
also
something to
no.
me.
Baggy is also one of the ethnicities.
Under the Hausa people, okay, do
Baggy.
you agree that there are sub-tribes? Okay, sub-people. Maybe the tribe is the one that is really, you can't wrap your head around. So, are these sub-people that have unique, distinct elements of their culture under the Hausa?
I think I can agree with that. I can agree with
Okay,
that.
can.
I can agree with that.
Then I think we agree on everything else.
But I still don't think that we agree on everything else.
Because for you, I'm saying for you because beyond language, what separates these people are usually the dialect.
yes,
And beyond the dialect, are we talking about
now let-
ceremonies,
let's move on.
heritages, a lot of other things they share
Let's
more than
move
any
on.
other group in the world?
Let's move on. By and large, the reason for this discourse is unity. It's because of a perceived division, and yet again, it's 2027 political season, and so there's very much the likelihood of people throwing these things out there, throwing it up. Especially when permutations don't favor one's political interests. The central is currently there, and the central is made up of the southern Ijaw, the Inugu, and the Kulukuma people, right? And so there are many talks of it going to the east, right? Howbeit, let's discuss how we can make this a thing, like a proper thing, like how we can inculcate
Mm.
this in the mind of that man who is from a job but speaks Obia, man who is from a PA but speaks a jaw, man who is from a job rather but speaks a PA, and all of those, to let them know that, hey, you're actually an Ijaw man. And how do we make them believe it?
First,
Those who do not believe it.
first off, they were made to not believe it. We need to establish first that the concept of no Ijaw and no Ijaw is not a concept that was inherent. It's not a concept that was there with us before now. Politics brought that concept. Before that time, there's no word like Ijaw and no Ijaw. If we settle that first, when we settle that first, there is no term as Ijaw and no Ijaw before that time. And because of politics and the need to expansionist mindsets, we have bought into a lot of things, and that has become part of the things we are bought into. The thing is, outside Bayelsa State, Ijaws in the diaspora, they don't have that argument of whether this man is Ijaw and this one is Ijaw. And when they have their Ijaw in the diaspora group, they don't have that argument.
One could point to a reason for that. You're not exactly at home, so
when you are at home, when you are at home and you have different interests,
when you are at home, politics plays out.
Yes, when you are at home and you have different interests, people want to weaponize things, and the non-core Ijaw and the Ijaw is just a weapon. And the only thing we are separated by, and that has been a cause of argument here, is just dialect. We don't talk about ceremony, we don't talk about a lot of other things that unite us. And that is what politicians use as weapons. The things deliberately searching the things that divide us and holding on to it. Yes, dialect divides us. So, can we talk about the things that unite us and wait among the things that divides us? And let's see that balance. Since you are core and I'm not core. And let's see that in the end, it's just dialect. You worship in the Ijaw that they claim that this one's the core Ijaw. They worship different other gods. If we talk about some of the gods that we worship in our village, the other man from the other area of the same Ijaw that claim that they are Ijaw will say, that kind of god they. Funny, but true. So when people say dialect reduces who we truly are and what unites us. Beyond dialect, we're a people together. The Obaya man, when he dances a wigri, sometimes he doesn't understand the other language of the southern Ijaw man. So it doesn't mean that because dialect separates us, dialect is what makes ethnicity. No. We are bigger than the dialect we speak. We are more. There is more to us.
All right, Ijaw. Let's wrap it up. It's been a while on the podcast. So let's wrap it up. This is something that I've enjoyed doing, and I hope that those who will watch it will see the meat of the conversation, see the meat of the podcast, and also learn from the discourse here today. Alrighty, thank you so much, guys. My name is Henry. We'll bring you another interesting episode pretty soon. Do have a beautiful day.
Thank you. Israel.